Welcome back. I am back. Why Not Be Authentic is back. And we're actually doing something a little different today, guys. Okay, so some cool information. First of all, if you don't know me, let me know who you are and where you're from, and welcome to our community. I say this is our community because Why Not Be Authentic is something that I created a year ago in August. And if you don't know my story, I highly urge and recommend you guys to go watch my podcast. I launched my podcast in November of last year. Actually, no, of February of last year. And I quit my job, my big girl job, to do this for a living, advocating for mental health. We're going to have a special guest today, so I'm waiting on him to join. So as soon as he does, we will have him come in, and we're going to have, this is going to be really cool, guys. This is something we haven't done. So I have a podcast, Why Not Be Authentic. Season 1 is on YouTube and Spotify, Why Not Be Authentic. The links are in my link tree. Season 2 launched a couple weeks ago, and we've had 2 episodes so far launch. More to come that have been already recorded, but we just have to edit it and get that going. Because remember, guys, I'm a novice. I'm doing this all on my own. I have no one editing. I have no one scheduling. I have no one doing any of that stuff. It's all on my own. So bear with me because it does take a little bit. But I wanted you guys to know something I'm very proud of, and then we're going to get into the discussion of what is today. So my podcast, guys, launched in February of this year. Why Not Be Authentic, advocating for mental health, sharing my struggles with mental health, anxiety, depression, PTSD, the list goes on, childhood trauma, ADHD, being real, raw, and authentic, but also having other people from other walks of life, all different kinds of walks of life, be on the podcast as a guest, whether it's someone who is in the profession of mentoring and coaching and things like that, psychologists, or someone that has gone through mental health struggles himself. And the goal is to advocate for mental health, bring more awareness to it, stop the stigma associated with it, but also show that mental health struggles do not discriminate. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it many times. It doesn't matter if you are a woman, man, transgender. It doesn't matter what your sexual preference is. It doesn't matter what your political affiliation is. It doesn't matter what your citizenship is. It doesn't matter if you're married or divorced or single, a parent or not, rich or famous. It does not matter. It does not discriminate. And that's really the point of it. Just guys, remember, be mindful that we're always going to be positive in this. Why not be authentic? We have moderators for that reason. And we want to make sure we follow the TikTok rules because of the fact that I do not want to get bananaed again. That sucked. I'm actually, Sarah, not having anybody in the box except for our guest speaker who's going to be in a little bit. But first, let me guys tell you about this podcast. So you guys know that I launched season 2 and I've only had 2 episodes launched so far. My YouTube channel, I looked at it last week. We had between 93 and 95, I can't remember the exact number of subscribers. I looked again on Saturday. I had about 150 subscribers. I looked again yesterday and I had about 230 subscribers. Guys, that isn't a week, less than a week. I went from between 93 to 95 up to 230 subscribers. So if you're one of the subscribers, thank you so much. And now we're doing something different and we're going to welcome Joel Diamond in. So let me get him in here. Hi, Joel.
Hey, Christina, how you going?
Good. How are you?
Good.
So guys, we're doing something a little different today. I am actually going to be, this records itself on TikTok, but we're going to do a live podcast discussion with my guest here, Joel Diamond. Moderators, I'm going to rely on you guys heavily to pin comments and we will answer them as we can, but we're going to have a really, really good discussion. And Joel and I have tried to do this for months now, but I'm really excited. So I'm going to let Joel introduce himself and we'll go from there.
No worries at all. Yeah, we actually tried to do this 7 months ago, back in April, but we couldn't do it. But now we're here, and timing's everything. So great. So grateful for having me. Yeah, I'm a mindset coach now. Like Christina, I've been doing my podcast for 3 years now, and because of that, and because of interviewing people around mental fitness, mental health, decided to become a coach now as well. So, and goodness knows where that's going as things change so quickly. So that's basically, yeah, where I'm at and what I'm doing. And the only reason Christina and I have been talking is because we both follow an awesome coach and podcaster named Jay Shetty. So there you go.
Now, does anyone in here not know of Jay Shetty? Because Jay Shetty, I think, is the OG. Like, he is the man, right, Joel?
He's up there. He's pretty good.
He's up there. He is, and I think I responded on a post or something, and Joel commented, and then that's kind of how we connected. Because if you hear that beautiful, beautiful accent he has, it's Australia, right, Joel?
Yeah, Australia, about hour north of Sydney. I don't know, that sounds really laid back and a bit whatever compared to the American accent, but hey, I'll take it.
Oh,
I'll
no,
take
I have a Southern accent. So I'm Australian.
I love your family too. Was it the other day? What was it? Lacrosse day, and you're like interviewing people around, and the partner, and then the mum, and then the dad, and all the expressions are exactly the way they would have been. It's so good. I love that. It's authentic in a nutshell. It's good.
Thank you. Yes, that's our channel, right? Mental health advocacy, but real, raw, and authentic. Mom, sports mom, animal mom, all those things. Which is so it's life. But guys, I'm excited to talk to Joel because, he's been doing this podcast, like he said, for 3 years. Joel, tell us a little bit more about yourself as far as when you started your podcast, and kind of how it evolved. And then I know you gave us a little synopsis, and then you brought up so many good subjects that I'm going to let you take the lead on the subjects that we discuss so we can kind of get a good dialogue going here. And guys, remember, tap that screen. The more engaged you are in the chat and the more that you share and tap, the more people we'll have in here. And don't forget to give Joel a follow. Okay, go ahead.
Appreciate it. No, that's awesome. It started back in 2018. It was before I was just driving around for my job as a delivery driver, and I was just driving around, and this guy came up on the thing named Jay Shetty, who was, to talk about, mental fitness and mindfulness and all that kind of thing. And I was listening, and for a good couple of years, I was thinking, more people should hear stuff like this, and no one really talks about it. And then obviously COVID hit in 2020, and that's the one thing that really annoyed me as well, was that, no one was talking about the mental strain it was having on people worldwide. It was all COVID numbers. What about the numbers of, more important things, with mental fitness and how people are coping, especially being so isolated, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
And then, and there's 2 years of that, and then I think I did a live or a Facebook thing where I just walked at the back here and just said that it was going to be okay, that, this is just another World War II, and the positive things that came out of World War II were the internet was formed and people were more creative and that kind of thing, and that history will repeat itself in that kind of way as well. So basically with our parents and their parents, this was our World War sort of thing.
Yeah.
So and then in 2022, I think it's January, I started the pod, and it's when you hear so many people's journeys, as you know, you just be inspired by it, and you learn so much, and we're all human at the end of the day. That's the thing, right? So, yeah. And we're all inner childs too. We're all childs in adult bodies. So, that's basically how I've just kind of meandered with that. And then in the last 2 or 3 months, I started coaching. Like you, left my big boy job. Yeah. And started doing that, and scary, but so rewarding. And when you follow your purpose, you open yourself to the universe, all these other things just open up. So, and including this today.
It's so true. It's so funny because I did that, I told you, in November of last year, where I quit. I worked for a Fortune 500 company. I'm a nurse by trade, and I was a senior therapeutic specialist and regional trainer, selling infusions for breast cancer. For triple negative breast cancer, which is the most aggressive. And I loved the job, but it was like, it's time to follow this passion because this has been affecting my life and me my entire life. And I think more and more we're seeing so many people struggle for different reasons, but it's like, we need to talk about this more. So I was like, I either did something really smart or I did something really stupid. Did that go through your head when you quit to do the coaching?
Yeah, 100%. And the only advice I'd given that now, anyone that's watching or listening, is that if you're feeling like that, if you feel like you need to do something, then do it in the background to your current job and just work on it in the spare time. And then over time, you can make the switch, Yeah. That's a Jay Shetty quote from way back too. When it actually does happen, you constantly question yourself, constantly. But then it's like an inner gut feeling,
Yeah.
sensation where you just go, nah, this is what I want to do. You outgrow stuff. You could be in the same room 5 years and love it, and then one day you go, I've done it. I'm done. It's time to move on. So
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, and that's how we got here. So now he is a coach and mentor. If anybody is looking for a coach or mentor, how can they find you, Joel?
yeah, like through here is easier to go to Instagram. Instagram's the best place. I mean, I'm on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and whatnot, and in LinkedIn. But Instagram's your way to go, because all the certificates are there, all your content's there, all your answers to your questions will be there. So that'd be the answer to that question. Yeah. So did you want to go on what I've been like itching to talk to you about the last 7 months, or?
Yes. So let's talk about it. First of all, I know that we were talking about, and we're going to be, guys, this conversation is a dialogue. It's for, I'm going to say, entertainment purposes only. Okay. And whatever your opinion is politically, listen, we're all united. We're all here in the U.S. together. But Joel wanted to learn more and talk a little bit about the results, I guess, this morning. And what all were you wanting to kind of talk about when it comes to the things that are going on in our country?
Yeah, I don't want to look. I'm just a convict looking from the outside in here on this island, Australia. But yeah, like just on that, anyone waking up today, whether you're happy with the result or you're not, you have to get up and go to work and dress your kids either way, either side. So hopefully the future will be bright either way. How you're feeling this morning? Yeah, I think it's just another historic moment. If you want to go a little bit more on that, I think everything changed when someone had a bullet graze his ear. I think once that happened, everything changed, and it was one of those where were you moment type things, like a 9/11 or a JFK or whatever. I think that's not a critical moment that I'll never forget, and I imagine most people around the world never forget. So, yeah, either way, the future is hopefully bright going forward, no matter how you felt this morning with the results.
Yeah, I love the way that you put that, because either way, no matter, if you woke up this morning and no matter what the results are, like, we're in this together. And I do think that was a pivotal moment. I think that when trying to make sure I'm saying the correct verbiage so I don't get bananaed from here, but when that attempt on former and soon to be, again, President Trump happened, and him getting up immediately, coming down his ear. And I think that was definitely a historic moment. And not only did that attempt happen once, but it happened twice. And he's had a lot thrown at him. But I also think that with everything that our country has gone through, even in the past 6 months, but gosh, I guess since right before COVID, I feel like, it was overarching. And what I mean by that is it looked to me after the results came in that the world, our country's like, okay, this is not working. What's going on in our economy? We need to make a change. And to Joel's point, no matter how you however you affiliate yourself politically, or who you voted for, or even if you don't care and didn't vote, or it's a very big, it can be a very controversial subject. At the end of the day, we are all here together, and we need to move forward and try to come together united to make this a better place for our children, no matter which side of the stands you are on, because we can all agree that what's going on and has been going on the past year has just not been good, Yeah. And I love your perspective. Someone that is not a U.S. citizen, that does not live in the U.S. and he's in Australia. I mean, I can't even imagine, Joel, like, what are you and your friends, family thinking, seeing everything happening from a different country?
Yeah, look, you feel like you've seen it all, and then something else happens. So it's pretty happy. It's the truth, yeah. And like you said too, I think election year scares me because, the best thing I've heard in the last 48 hours was, how do you bring down a powerful country like America? You divide them, and you guys, like you said, you guys have been really divided the last year, especially. So, like you said, I'm glad you can all just go forward and be united, and hopefully everyone prospers, from hopefully buying, groceries a lot better to, safety at schools and you name it, every policy you can think of, hope it all improves. And I hate to say it, but because you're such a powerful country, whatever happens there does affect everyone else in some way. So yeah, that's the result I want going forward for sure.
And at the end of the day, when talking about mental health, it all impacts our mental health. No matter what side of the political fence you are on, if we are in the middle of inflation and we can't afford to groceries and mortgage and utilities and things to that extent, we're scared to send our kids to school. We're not sure if there's a natural disaster, if we're going to be taken care of. Like all these things, it doesn't matter what side of the fence you are on. We are all worried about these types of things, and we think about, especially if you're a parent, think about our children. And at the end of the day, we all just want to be happy and peaceful. And so I'd love to hear your perspective of it. Now, what is it like in comparison? I am so naive when it comes to different countries and their political, how they run their country. I should probably be better educated on that. But tell us a little bit about how Australia is ran.
Because I've traveled a bit around the world, the closest and the best example I can give to you is probably closest to probably Canada, like really similar to Canada.
Yeah.
But probably more loose and more laid back, even a little bit more than Canada as well. So that's the closest I can give. I can compare to everyone listening and watching. But it's you can't even compare really. It's two different worlds, eh? Like, yeah, we're just the only you have your hurricanes there. Your hurricanes are pretty scary. The scariest thing in comparison to that here would probably be bushfires. That's probably our best comparison. Yeah, that's bad.
Like what happened in Maui a year ago?
Yeah, so that would be like a really bad bushfire here. What happened there? So yeah, that's bad.
How often does that happen? I know we're kind of getting. This is me and ADHD. I kind of go everywhere.
Yeah, that's cool. Once every few years sort of thing. Can have a really bad one. Depending on but like you got 30 times more people living in the US than you do here. I think we have like 20 million in total here. Yeah. So which is like the population of California or something. That's about it. So
I'd love to visit. So I've always said it's on my bucket list. I actually have a friend of mine who I went to high school with. So I'm 37. So I went to high school with her. She's younger than me by 2 years, I think. So we cheered together as well. But she moved to Australia maybe a year after graduating high school, ended up going to college there, got a nursing degree there, met her husband there, married there. That's her life now. And I'm like, hi, good for you. I've always wondered what it is like. Australia has been like one of those places that I'm like, I think I could live there. Just not the big spiders.
Yeah, that's the thing. You got to get used to the spiders. I was in America and there was like a little string on a carpet and I thought it was like a lizard and I was like, oh, it's just a string. So yeah, it plays in your mind. But sounds like your friend, the lifestyle and the accent got her for sure.
Yeah, definitely. All right, and so this brings me to my next point. So Joel, you and I talked about this a little bit about what we are concerned about when it comes to what is happening in our schools. What happened in, what was it, right after school started here in the U.S., August maybe, in Georgia, Appalachian High School, and that's something that happens. It seems like a lot in the U.S. and as parents, we're fearful. Our kids are fearful. I'd love to hear your perspective overseas, because you said you don't get a lot of those threats there, right?
No, so like England and Canada, we don't. Our policemen, for example, don't have guns, so guns doesn't really feature. So when we see
your policemen don't have guns,
no, they do, but they only use them if they absolutely have to.
Right.
So we have guns, but we don't really. It's not prominent. Like the society doesn't really have them unless you have like a permit, obviously. But it's very rare, So when we see things like that, and when I saw what you put up something what was happening, and I try to put myself in my shoes of like, because I think you said, I think it was your daughter or your son that said they didn't want to go to school or something in fear of it. Yeah, and I had to put myself in that situation because we haven't had that situation here, and I was putting it, and I thought. It's a classic, mindset coaching technique of, even as a parent, that's going to trigger you because your child's scared, and that scares you.
Yeah.
But I'd go to the mantra of, you can only control what you can control, and every morning, say you're getting ready to take them to school, your kids getting ready to school, be looking in the mirror and just saying, I'm safe, I'm enough, I'm protected. And then go into that intention, going and having a nice, productive, safe, happy day.
Yeah.
That would be like the process I feel after something like that, because how would you go to school? How would anyone go to work with that trauma? So
well, that's what I was thinking about. I mean, there's so many different avenues, and we're talking about trauma and PTSD. I mean, the trauma of the children that have gone through this, the trauma of children that haven't gone through it. So like my kids, if you were here, your kids, that hear about it. Like they talk about it at school. I mean, the P. Diddy situation. My son is apparently P. Diddy is the talk of the school between that and the election, and they're in elementary school. I mean, so when it comes to that, and you know, my kids had a thread, a boom thread, couple with the video you saw, and my son texted me and he said, "Mama sent me a video of him running and kids at school running, and then said, 'Help me.'" And so that's the first we heard. And it scared the crap out of me. And it ended up being a boom threat. And it was not factual, but their school was right next to a temple. And so, you know, with a lot of controversy with that, I didn't know, we don't know, was that why? Was it the school that was threatened? Was it right beside of it? But regardless, these kids had to be evacuated. And my kids come home and they're like, "Mom, why can't we be homeschooled? Like, I don't want to go to school." You know, and so that's the constant battle that we have to have with our kids, almost like they have PTSD just because of seeing it. And they have access to computers at school, home, whatever, and they Google it and they see it and then they look at the students, how young they are. And I mean, it's just really sad and disheartening.
Yeah, 100%. I think, homeschool would be the absolute last resort, obviously. But like I said before, you're going to talk about it, obviously, but to shut out the noise and to shut out the fear and the trauma and to manage the trauma and the fear, it's just, you know, I'm protected, I'm safe, you know, Mum's got me, you know.
You said that. It reminded me of what you said a second ago. And you're talking about now, the affirmations. So every morning, I did not get this growing up, and studies show this is super, super important to increase self-confidence and, you know, independence and positivity and all those things, and reduce anxiety. And so every single morning we do, all right, it's time for affirmations. I am handsome and beautiful. I am enough. I am confident. I am brave. You know, I am a leader, not a follower. I'm not going to let anyone put me in a bad mood or think badly of myself. And I'm not going to let anyone make me worry about anything that's going to happen, because we are safe and we're going to be safe. And then we say the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we say the Serenity Prayer that I've known for years. So now my kids know it. And it's our routine every single morning.
That's amazing. I love that. I think if I had to pick one, because everyone, different words work for different people too, what that means to them. But if I had to pick one that's probably the most important, that would work in a lot of areas in people's lives, it'd probably be enough. I am enough. Because when you had a bad day at work, or you got in trouble for something, or you just feel like you're not enough and you don't shape up, I think that's definitely the best one. But the fact you do all those affirmations and whatnot, that's pretty powerful stuff. And to do that for your kids too. So with parents too, you either repeat the stuff that you got as a child or you change it. So it's 50-50 next time. So
it's like childhood trauma. If you've gone through childhood trauma, it's like what I have found with me, my siblings, and with other people that have had childhood trauma, people either do one of two things. They do the exact same thing that the parents did, and it's kind of a generational cycle, right, of the way they're responding to it, whether it's relying on substance to numb that pain or whatever it is you're going through, or people are like, I'm going to be enough. I'm going to be better. I'm going to choose to make it different and stop that generational curse of,
cycle.
Letting the trauma take you over and not being able to heal. And I think that I am enough. You're right. That's one of the strongest ones. I bought a sticker on the TikTok shop. Have you seen that? It says, I am enough.
Oh, I like that. That's cool.
I have a Jeep Wrangler, so I put it on my mirror and on the back of my car so people behind me could see it, because I feel like that's one thing, no matter what your age is, no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, I am enough. I think that is a statement that I think everybody, if they said it to themselves every morning and every night, I think they would see their self-confidence increase even if it's very so lightly, you know?
I think when you're teaching someone, whether it's your kids or a friend or helping them, it's easier. But when it's yourself, it's hard. So like you said, using that to help yourself and get through the breaking of the generational cycle that you're trying to break. Lots of self-care, lots of, self-protection and repetition in what you were saying. So yeah, absolutely.
Oh, Joel, I'm so glad we got to talk about this. So guys, like Joel said, we've been trying to connect since April, but if y'all remember, April is when Laura, my niece, her 2-month-old son, passed away from SIDS, and she moved in. And to be honest, ever since then, it's been a lot of healing and a lot of this. So I'm so glad that we were finally able to do this, and I want to keep doing it. I want to learn too from you, because like I said, I'm a novice with this podcast. All of it. Okay. There's so much that I still am learning and trying to learn and looking for someone to mentor me on that stuff. But also your mentoring and coaching, I think I could just learn so much from you of what you do for your clients.
Yeah, even talking to you, it goes both ways. I mean, even say you had clients yourself, and you learn off your viewers anyway, but your clients yourself, you learn just as much off them that they do off you.
Yeah.
Any connection or collaboration, it goes both ways, which is so great. And 7 months, Christina, we got there, and it's awesome. 7 months.
Next time, guys, it would not be that long.
It's just, I believe in timing too, like, universe and God, whatever you believe in, but timing's everything, and obviously you need that time to heal and time to, a lot of things don't stop when you're a parent as well, so it all adds up.
Don't tell me, you have kids, right? That's right. And you have a boy and a girl, or was it 2 girls?
Boy and a girl, 5-year-old and a 1-year-old this Sunday. So.
Oh, you got a 1-year-old. I missed this. And the 5-year-old, the 3-year-old stage is hard.
Yeah, the teenager. Yeah, very hard. Yeah.
It's not the terrible 2s, it's the terrible 3s.
Yeah, no one talks about the terrible 3s. It's the 3-nager. That's the hard one. Yeah.
Yeah. Guys, if you're just joining, I'm Christina with Why Not Be Authentic. This is Joel. This is someone that I met virtually through IG. He is a coach and mentor. He's from Australia, and he's a big advocate for mental health, but he also has his own podcast he's been doing for about 3 years. So we have gone up a lot in numbers. We're now at 115 in here. So I know when we first introduced you, we were like maybe 12 people. We were slowly getting up there. So do you want to give them your spiel again, but kind of tell them again what you do and exactly what coaching and mentoring, what that includes for you and your clients, and then more about your podcast?
Yeah, sure. Joel from Australia. Been podcast host for 3 years. I just started coaching because of it in the last 3 months. Like Christina, I had to get rid of my big girl, big boy job. And as scary as it is, you open yourself up to the universe and it will take care of you. So it's been amazing so far. Coaching wise, look, my 3 ways of doing it, I can do it with anyone across the world, by, like this, like Zoom or anything. It could be a half an hour, it could be an hour, or it could be over a course of a month. So, which is like 4 sessions of 1 hour sessions a month, once a week sort of thing. So, basically based on childhood trauma, anything you're struggling with from here to where you want to be. Personally, professionally, that kind of thing. My dad's a counselor, so I kind of I don't like to go too much into counseling, but I do like to work out the dynamics, how are you growing up? Were you the oldest? Were you the youngest? How was your relationship to your mom and dad, your siblings? And then once I get that kind of feel, then I kind of delve into what works for you. And like I said, I learn just as much from you as you do from me. And it's great.
I love that you do coaching and mentoring. So I don't do that yet, the coaching and mentoring. So I live stream and then the podcast and things like in content creation, but coaching and mentoring is something I want to do, but I don't feel like I'm there yet with my healing journey, which I know it's not a button you push. But I know
I'm so glad you said that, because a lot of people pretend that they're there and they're not, and you got a lot of pretenders in the industry. Mm-hmm. But like you, I had to go through it. I had to do a lot of inner healing, and once you've done close to the 100% of inner healing, then you can start coaching, then you can start mentoring. I've got a story for you because it connects us so well. This person down in Western Sydney wanted as owner of a retreat, and they needed a speaker, and I haven't done speaking yet. And I put my foot forward, whatever, to do it. And she was Indian, and I was talking to her and stuff. And I said, and I just joked around. I said, have you met Jay Shetty? And she goes, yeah, I have. I was like, I was like, what? She's like, yeah, like 1.8 billion people, a million people in Mumbai, and we all know each other. And I was like, really? She's like, yeah. And I was like, how'd you meet him? And she's like, he was just walking to the monastery. He had no idea what he wanted to do. He was lost. And I saw him, I waved to him, I gave him a hug, and he went to the monastery, and he came back, and he knew what he wanted to do. And look at him now. So just a message to anyone watching, listening, if you have something you want to do, like, and deep down, like, go do it. We only live once, you know? No idea where it'll take you. I think he has, like, correct me if I'm wrong, Christina, like 5 million followers now or something on one
Does, yeah. Jay Shetty, thank you, Billy Bob, for all the gifts. Jay Shetty, he's actually the one that, the initial one, because he's been around for a while now, that I started following on Facebook, like seeing his like little clips, you know, and he's so smart and he's so wise, and he makes you think about life in just a very different way. But I think that we need that enlightenment, you know, and I remember hearing him telling that story of how he figured out what he wanted to do. And he said that he was walking around lost and just found this, was it a temple or
Yeah, like a Buddhist temple.
yeah, something like that. And that's how, you know, it just came to him. And he now is, Jay Shetty's an amazing speaker. That's how Joel and I connected, by both of us commenting on one of his clips that he had on IG. And my goodness, if you could meet someone, and that's a mentor, man. That is one that he's very, very wise. And I think a lot of us, mentors, coaches, speakers, podcasts, TEDxers, he's taught a lot of us, I feel like.
Yeah, well, it's like anything, right? If you keep going and you keep influencing a lot of people, you'll just be, you know, that mentor who's influenced millions and millions of people. But I think too, like you were talking about your inner journey, the only tip I can give you too, one of the best things I've learned was the stillness is the key. So stillness in the movement and movement in the stillness. So if you sat there and meditated and just closed your eyes, you know, just sitting there in silence for 5 minutes, and you notice your mind going racing, you know, the kids, the work, the what's going on in life. But if you stick at it, it will eventually start slowing down, and then you'll start hearing the inner stuff.
Yeah.
You know, what you want to do with your life, what you want to do tomorrow, who are you, and all that kind of stuff. And the more you get good at it, the more you practice at it, and then, yeah, you'll live a more still, purposeful, fulfilled, peaceful life, I feel.
Yeah. You know, I love that you brought that up, because have you meditated for a while? Is that a practice?
Yeah. I started, when did I start? It was probably more in 2022. So it's been a couple of years now. Yeah.
Since COVID. Yeah. Well, yeah, since COVID.
Yeah, just 2022. So a couple of years. I started the idea since COVID, but 2022 is when it really kicked in. So.
You say that. So my cousin David, he was a well-known choreographer. And he was 43 in 2022, and he has 5 kids. And he passed away in his sleep up in New York, traveling for choreographer. But I don't know what, that hit me so hard, even though I haven't seen my cousin in 10 years. It just, I don't know why, I guess because of childhood, right? It brings up childhood memories, and, you know, we're getting older and the realization of everything. And I don't know. It was like the first time I ever felt like I had the towel over my head taken off, or whatever that saying is. Like I could see clear, if that makes sense. So I reconnected with my estranged mom, which we're now reconnected again. And we went to my first ever retreat. It was actually in Western North Carolina. I don't know if it's still there since Hurricane Helene, but we did a meditation retreat, and it was so enlightening. It was really hard for my mind to just be quiet, for me to concentrate. Like that was the hardest thing. So what would be your advice if someone is like me and has a horrible ADHD brain, and they don't take medication for it, because that makes me feel like I'm gonna have a heart attack. So I'm just everywhere. So my mind, it doesn't allow me to be quiet when I'm trying to go to sleep or meditate. What would be your recommendation for me or someone else that kind of has the same brain like mine?
Especially before going to sleep. And I've been doing this for a while now. Guided meditation. So listening, headphones, someone talking to you with a voice that sounds good to you, that voice that you like. Just get 15 minutes plus. There's heaps on YouTube. You just listen to one, and again, because your mind gets the most active before you go to sleep, right? So once you listen to it, calms you down, and you're You know, you might have a nod off, you might be and you take the headphones off and then you go to sleep. In terms of meditation, same kind of thing. Guided's good, but then after the guided, just go silence, because it's like, you're 37, right? I'm 35. It's like 37 years of talk
Right.
going around in your head, right? So the sooner you let your mind and body just slowly go, okay, just be with it, just stick with it. And each time you do it, each 5-minute time you do it, or 50-minute time you do it, whatever, it's not about the length either. It's about the quality of it too. So it will slow down. But yeah, definitely guided. Someone telling something calms you. Could be water, could be nature, or it could be just someone talking to you, a male's voice, a female voice.
Mindfulness. Is that the mindfulness?
Yeah, so the set dulcet tones, and the reason why we're so good with that, because when we were kids, we read stories when we were kids, so we like someone telling a story that calms us before going to sleep.
Yeah.
So
it's funny you said that, because my insomnia, I'm still trying to figure it out with my dog. Like, it's horrible, and it's gotten worse the older I've gotten. I'm having a lot of, like, I think flashbacks in my sleep, and I just can't sleep. And anyways, I started
definitely do that to start with, definitely, because it'll start calming yourself down. You can get a good night's sleep, and you know the health benefits from sleep. I don't have to tell you that. That's
oh my gosh, what stress can do to your body, and with the lack of sleep and stress. I mean, my sister, for example, was very vocal about this. But she, after Haven passed, which is my niece's 2-month-old son, so that's my sister's first grandson. After he passed unexpectedly in April, my sister started having seizures. And she's having seizures all the time, but it's not electrical seizures, it's pseudo seizures. So it's also known as, I think it's neurological functioning disorder. So basically, her body has been in fight or flight for her entire life. PTSD trauma her entire life. And eventually your body can only then be in fight or flight for so long before your body tries to attack itself. So it's not like an electrical seizure you can see on like EKG mapping, but she has a seizure. And every time you have a seizure, at least in the state of North Carolina, it's 6 more months you can't drive, medical leave, all that stuff. But it goes to show you lack of sleep, insomnia, anxiety, depression, trauma, PTSD. If we don't take those steps to really heal, between meditation, getting a coach such as Joel, guys, that mindfulness. I have found, as long as I put on mindfulness, that is the only time I will go to sleep. Since I've started.
There's a reason for that too, right? And the last thing you want, anyone that's suffering, you don't want to be in your deathbed in 20 years' time or whatever and go, I wish, I was more peaceful. I wish I could enjoy life more. I wish I could be there with my family, or wish I was present. How many times you're in a room and you're not even present, you're just thinking, about something else. So yeah, mindfulness is the key, definitely for your sleep. That would be my number one. Guided meditation, something that works for you, calms you down. Like a story reading to a child, it's the exact same thing. So
have you taught your kids you said are 1 and 5, so maybe not yet, but have you started teaching them like mindfulness and meditation, the 5-year-old, or is it something you intend to in the future? My
son's got an affirmation thing on his wall, so a little plaque. So I am loved, I am enough, and all that kind of thing. I'm kind, and his name I am Z, so that's really cool. The books are a necessity before bedtime, because otherwise they're too jacked up on screen time and whatever else. So yeah, that's a huge one for kids. You got to be kind. You got to be mindful times 10 with kids. Otherwise they'll just, So yeah, it's good. Like you said, it's good to get those habits and whatnot for the kids nice and early, because then you embed them. And as it gets older, we'll do the meditation stuff as it comes to them.
Together. It's a great bonding as they get older experience.
Oh yeah, too. And I think it's going to be even more important too, because technology is just going to keep going up, right? Like there's going to be screens, virtual stuff around us even more as we get older. So
and I can tell with my kid, especially my son, if he's had more technology, that attitude gets worse. So he's a teenager right now. We're 11, but I can see that, and I'm like, all right, we're taking it away for 2 days, and it's amazing how much the attitude changes. It really does. It's the epitome of how bad technology can be on our brains, especially our underdeveloped children's brains. But that's how they learn in schools now. They use computers and all that stuff.
Takes a lot of energy, a lot of brain energy. So yeah, the second you get off it, you'll feel the difference straight away. Even just looking outside, like you notice difference. So absolutely.
Well, guys, I know that we've been talking it up. I feel like, Joel, I could talk to you forever. just to be respectful of Joel's time, guys that's in the chat, is there any other questions that you would like to ask Joel? Now is your time. And guys, I will put, I'm going to copy this video and post it as an episode for my podcast because I think that this is going to help so many people. So this is our first ever live podcast. I usually record them and then edit it. But so helpful for me. I hope it was helpful for you guys. But if you have any questions, now's the time. Go give Joel a follow. He's amazing. Just what I've learned and followed him so far, and his podcast. He's very active on Instagram as well. And Joel, I really would love to start like a series on this. And I feel like I could learn so much from you. And I feel like our followers and listeners could too.
The authentic USA, Australia, mental fitness, whatnot. I don't know. But yeah, absolutely. No, I'm happy to do that.
Yeah.
I think it's good. That's the one thing too, knows Christina, when you talk to people like who live in different places and different perspectives, you learn so much, obviously when you travel as well. So if you can do that like this and everyone else can do it too, yeah, I'm happy to check in with you. You got to be more nice to your old man though. If he's not enthusiastic about lacrosse day, then he's not enthusiastic, all right?
Yeah. One of my big followers and moderators, Billy Bob, he said thoroughly enjoyed it with a smiley face. And we're getting lots of likes and hearts. So thank you so much, Joel, for taking the time. And the time difference, it is what time there?
10:47 a.m.
And I'm East Coast. What, 8 p.m. Eastern-ish here?
Oh, okay. So you're not 6:47 p.m. You're 8:47.
Oh, it may be 6:47. I really don't know what time it is, to be honest. No, because we went live at 6. So yeah, 6:47 sounds good. It's 6:47 p.m. Eastern. But anyways, we were able to do the time change connect. Go give Joel a follow and listen to him. And if you're looking for a coach and mentor, by just talking to him and getting to know him, I can already tell he's going to be an amazing mentor and coach. So go give him a follow. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Christina. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'll talk to you next time.
No worries. Sounds good.
All right. Bye. All right, guys. I wanted to get off a little early, being respectful of his time, but I wanted to see what your guys' input was. I know we dramatically reduced in how many people are in here, so thank you guys for those of you that hung with us. I've never done an official, wasn't official. I wanted this to be, initially we were going to record this and edit it for my podcast, but he was like, why don't we just go live and do it live and see how that goes? And I haven't done that yet. I'm not going to do it all the time. It's going to be a treat to do, but I think it's nice to have, if we can, some collaboration and episodes live, and those are special episodes. So if you're just now joining and you didn't see the whole thing, don't you worry. It's going to be on my YouTube and Spotify podcast as episode 3. I think it's important really to talk to other people, not just people that are going through struggles in their life, but also people who are mentor and coaches who do have tools and resources that they can help educate us if we do struggle with mental health, so that we can, get one step closer on our healing journey. And like I said, he is someone that I met on IG. I commented on Jay Shetty, the OG. He is amazing. One of the clips he posted, and that's how Joel and I connected. And I'm really glad that I connected with him. He's from Australia, coach and mentor. Go give him a follow. And listen, anytime you guys ever have ideas that you want to hear about for the podcast or for my live streaming or anything like that, or even my content creation, I'd like to see more of this, let me know. And I have to say one last thing before I go. I've been seeing it ever since I put who I voted for politically. A lot of people that loved me and why not be authentic, and now are done because of the way that I voted. I just want to say this, that is everyone's prerogative on who they feel they want to associate themselves with and which communities they want to join. I don't think that relationships should be torn because of political decisions. And at the end of the day, we all are underneath whomever our leader is. And more than ever, we need unity, not division. And it's okay to disagree, right? We don't have to be, and I think of my parents since they got split up, politics and the division of the left side or right side has completely tore my family upside down since I was little. Since I was 6 years old. The fighting between my parents, it was horrible when it came to politics, and one parent being way far on the right, one parent being way far on the left, which is probably why I'm a little in the middle. But I don't think that we should ruin relationships because of how we voted, because at the end of the day, the results are the results. And I think we can all agree that in the end, we just want a better economy for ourselves, for our children. And it's really important that we come together united. So I am going to make a little video about that, but then I'm going to leave it at that. And I don't think I'm going to talk about it anymore, because at this point, you know, we brought it up with Joel a little bit because, you know, again, him seeing from Australia what's been unfolding in the U.S., it's interesting to hear from other people's perspectives outside of the U.S. of what it looks like in the U.S. But it's funny because I saw one of our really good followers. She's in every single one of my live streams when we started, and I didn't respond to it because I didn't want to be rude to Joel, who I was having as a for a podcast live episode. And it sucks because I really liked her, and we would message each other, and she would always comment in here, and she just came in and said she's not going to follow anymore. Goodbye. And someone blocked her, moderators, but I don't block. I unblocked her because I don't think that we should block people just because we have different opinions. Clint said, sad that some people can't agree to disagree and still love each other. It's very sad, Clint, and my hope is that we see, you know, everything that's been unfolding since COVID. But at the end of the day, guys, I voted the way I voted. And that does not make me a bad person because of the way I voted. And I voted the way that I voted because of what I think. I know, guys, the past 2 weeks, I think, I have not posted an episode. So I'm, again, remember, I am scheduling, booking these podcasts. I'm editing these podcasts on my own, and then I'm also working on collaborations, and so there's a lot of stuff I'm doing in the background. There's only one of me. I am getting close to that time that I need help, but I am not making money off my podcast yet. I'm not really making that much money at all off of doing all this, and you know, so I'm not there yet where I can financially afford to get anybody to help me with newsletters and things like that, but hopefully that will come in the future. So be patient, but there are tons of episodes for my podcast that I've already recorded. I just got to edit. The plan is every Friday, but just know it's only me doing it. And so if it doesn't happen every Friday, you will always see me promote it when it's coming. And the goal is every Friday, but I can't promise that or guarantee that. Positive intent, guys. I feel like I'm constantly being taught a lesson. I thought for the longest time that there were these other not the longest time, but the content creators that I would reach out to and they would not see my message in a live stream, or they wouldn't respond to my messages or whatever. And I was like, they're rude. But as we are growing, I am seeing it does get a little overwhelming, and it makes me go, I shouldn't have been quick to judge. Lesson learned for me. And I feel like I've been getting a lot of those lessons lately. So thank you, Billy Bob. I really appreciate that. You said, Billy Bob says, I'm growing as a person, and I am definitely trying to grow as a person. I'm trying to heal, but I'm also trying to set healthy boundaries, if that makes sense. I'm an empath and I feel everything. And I also tend to try to help everyone. And doing that, I tend to forget about myself, you know, and so and my priority is always my family. So I'm trying to be healthy boundaries. But the reason I'm saying all this, Billy Bob, I really appreciate what you said. And yes, go live more. So I posted today my schedule for the rest of the week. So I am going live twice every day, Monday through Friday. It's going to be at the morning wake up and then the 9 a.m. mental health conversation. My plan is to start making it live streams 3 times a day. But right now I'm trying to get all these podcasts edited and also all these videos made with companies that I have partnered with. So that's why we're only doing 2 right now. The other thing is, remember I told you guys before I couldn't go live anymore that until after the election that I said I've got a surprise coming? Well, the surprise that I was referring to is happening on Monday. I'm still not going to tell you what it is, but I am going to be making a trip either Sunday night or Monday morning. So my husband and I, just the 2 of us, are heading up to... Should I tell you where I'm heading? Like what state I'm heading to? I don't know. Maybe you should just subscribe and follow and wait to see. But I'm really excited. This is a pivotal moment for me, and I'm very excited. And again, I just want to reiterate, guys, as a milestone for me that I'm very proud of. So episode 3 will be coming out this week. And if you didn't get to see the whole live stream of this will be an episode as a recap, because I want to try to do at least once a month or once a quarter, one live episode of the podcast. So we shall see. We shall see. If you have not subscribed to my Linktree, which is free, please do it. We want to start doing newsletters to keep you guys more updated. And I want to be more efficient on all this. But again, I'm a novice, but I am getting there. Trust me. Mark my words. It is all going to be efficient one day. It's just not right now. But we're getting there. All right, guys. Do y'all have any other questions? Do you have any other requests? Do you have anything else that I can answer while you've got me? Besides going live more, and that is coming. And my weekly post of my live streams will always be pinned. I already pinned it for this week. And I think that's all I got for you guys. So, all right, I got to get off. So I love you guys. Thank you for joining. Go check out episode 1 and 2 of season 2 if you haven't yet. YouTube and Spotify. And I'll chat at you later. Bye, guys.